Hi everyone, this is Hiram Todd, and this is our Group 3's CIT 262 presentation on Chapter 5, where we talk about the value streams. Here, in this chapter, we'll be talking about greenfield services versus brownfield services. Which one is best for your circumstances? What kind of system do you have and why it is important, which includes systems of record, systems of engagement. And next will be adoption and expansion of DevOps initiatives, the who's and hows. Now, the greenfield services is a development that is meant for new projects. And with new projects includes a clean slate, new tools, new design concepts, faster change, and a great deal of innovation. This process starts with a clean slate and will start from the ground up. This attribute also means faster change and a great deal of innovation. There may be at times that developers may interact with some legacy codes from an existing app, but it's only used for reference to help in the integration. But for the most part, it is a complete rewrite. Agility and speed is emphasized in the greenfield, and it is tolerant to bugs. Now, when it comes to brownfield services, it's in contrast with greenfield. This is when a business takes an existing product and improves it. And this process includes re-engineering, adding features, altering code, slow changes, and reliability and scalability. This is when a business takes an existing product and improves it. In fact, it's taking an existing application and doing some re-engineering. This is also called this is an upgrade. This app is taken and new features are added along with some code alterations and functionality rework. This attribute is a slow process, but it is reliable and scalable. Many do believe that DevOps is mainly for greenfield projects, but DevOps has had some success in transforming different kinds of projects of brownfield. We'll go ahead and now pass it on to Kim.
Thanks, Hiram. Kim Llanos here, and I am going to talk to you about systems of record and systems of engagement. Just as there are different types of projects, such as greenfield and brownfield, that have different approaches to them, the different systems of record and systems of engagement need to be approached differently as well. According to David Greer in an article, he's talking about IBM interconnecting that system, and he's talking about systems of record and systems of engagement. And according to him, DevOps defines how companies approach systems of record and systems of engagement. We know that both systems have to, they interoperate together, and it has to be smoothly and intuitively for them to work correctly. So when you're introducing any kind of development, you need to keep in mind what kind of system you have. Systems of record are the traditional focus on internal IT processes. That's your CRM, your ERP, your databases, and data warehousing. And change happens very, very slowly in terms of months or even years. They usually have operational efficiency. And, you know, we're talking about back-end systems here. HR databases, CRM databases, and systems of record are driven by compliance and control. Now, systems of engagement is kind of on the other end of the spectrum because they interface with the customer itself. You're going to see this in all kinds of media outlets with digital assistants, definitely the mobile interactions, e-commerce systems, any kind of productivity application. The systems of engagement are highly adaptive, and change happens very, very quickly because the feedback loop is very much a part of these kinds of systems, that continual feedback loops. The changes happen very, very quickly in systems of engagement. So again, it's really important to know what kind of system you have so that you can tailor your DevOps approach to any kind of development. Okay, I am going to hand off to Kevin. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Kim. So my name's Kevin, and we'll be talking about first the technology adoption curve. So here you can see is this graph represents people. Underneath that, there's different groups of people. We have on the left here the innovators. These are the people that when a new technology comes out, they're on board. They're always going to say yes. They're excited to try new things, and they're the easiest to win over out of this entire group. The next, we have early adopters. And these guys are similar to the innovators, but you notice that there's this gap in the middle, the chasm. That's always the difficulty. When a new technology succeeds, it's because they've crossed this chasm. When it fails, it's because they didn't cross this chasm. So when a new technology comes out, that's the challenge: is how do we overcome this chasm? Because once we do, then we have access to the early majority, which is you can see by then you have now the majority of everything left on that graph. The majority of customers are using whatever technology it is. Then you have the late majority. These are the guys who are coming on board, because everybody else has done it, and so now they're conforming. And then on the far right, you have the laggards who are pretty much just always going to say no to new technology. So when we have a new technology, obviously we want to start on the left, go for the easy wins. So we want to apply this concept to DevOps. So when we expand the concept of DevOps, we want to identify and find the innovators and early adopters. These are the people, hopefully, that have been in the company a while, and they're going to have a high degree of influence and credibility among the company, so that when they do accept the idea of DevOps, that the idea can propagate and spread easier. Because once we do that, we can then build the silent majority, and everybody starts jumping on the bandwagon, as they say. So then we have the majority of our company, or the majority of your group or your team, that are on board with it, and that way, when it is presented to those who have yet to jump on board, then we have the majority's favor. So we can identify the holdouts and honestly just leave them alone and let the idea just propagate on its own. But because we've done that, because we've identified the early adopters and we've gathered that momentum, the idea will stick. So, and that concludes Group 3's Chapter 5 presentation. Thank you for your time.